podcast diary before I hit the hay. My health was something else today. I basically ended up going to the workshop on I would say, the third day of my cycle. And I literally let them know, like, because they noticed that I was trickling into the room from the washroom after a longer time than I usually would. And I just let them know, like, yeah, I have cramps, but don't worry, I have my ibuprofen. So that's exactly what I did. I had I would say, I think I only had my herbal, like, antidepressant earlier today, but yeah, I'm pretty sure this was my first ibuprofen of the day and last of the day too. And yeah, it was weird. I think I was starting to relax into my body after I took it. I had some water, and then it tried to and then my cramps tried to act up again. So I started drinking more water, and I was able to calm down a little bit more. And yeah, eventually I did have dinner there as usual, or or you could say like late lunch, however you want to put it. And yeah, I thought I was feeling okay. I was like a little sluggish. My typical like anxious self. Just like a little bit heightened because my hormones and stuff. And it's crazy because like my peers and like obviously the people like running the workshop, they were noticing I was like a little like more heightened in my anxiety today. I'm like, yeah, I know. It was like partially hormonal. But yeah. Uh, I feel like other than that, today's workshop went surprisingly well. Like for me in particular, because like it was basically a refresher on interview etiquette and stuff like that. And yeah, interviews are not my favorite thing in the world, I'll be honest. So I was expecting like, oh my gosh, they're gonna ask me super hard questions and I'm gonna be grilled and I'm gonna be so embarrassed. But yeah, I feel like they were very it was more from like an educational approach, more from like an advisory approach, and like I really appreciate that. Yeah, eventually, fast forward to my commute on the way back to the house, and oh my gosh, like I thought it was okay. I thought it was okay. Um, Good thing I had like an extra water bottle, like and some cookies like with me, just to be sure that help with the situation happening down there, obviously. Um, but yeah, I was able to stay awake I was able to stay awake pretty well, for like the first half of the commute. But yeah, I desperately needed like the cookies to just like even keep my eyes open. I wouldn't even lie, like it was so weird. Yeah, and then I chugged the whole like water bottle that I had. And I was just thinking to myself, like, oh my gosh, I better not pass out on this bus. I better not pass out on this bus. Because if I pass out on this bus, it's not that like I was scared of other passengers around me on the bus. I could tell like I was like in safe company. Like that was an issue, thankfully. It was just more like I don't want to knock out and then miss my stop. So then yeah, I was just praying on the bus, like, Lord Jesus, please help me to stay awake so I can get off at the stop. And oh my gosh, yeah. And I was just telling my mom about it. Like, I thought I was gonna knock out on the bus, and like she was letting me know, like, oh my gosh, why why would you go out like when you're not like feeling great, when you're not like in the best condition? I'm like, yeah, I know. I was questioning that like earlier, like not so much from like the consciousness point of view, but more like I was just irritable earlier today, but that was it. Like that was the worst that it was earlier. But yeah, I'm just saying it is a miracle. It is a miracle that I'm here at the house and not knocked out on the bus. But yeah, gonna have some more water before I knock out. But yeah, what I'm thinking is going on is that like I would typically find myself lying down after having ibuprofen and like have like a heating pad on my belly. Or like that's how it's been for like the past 2 days. And I'm wondering if like psychologically my mind is like, oh, I just had ibuprofen. I should be lying down now. I should be falling asleep now. So like I wonder if it was like a psychological thing too. So I'm thinking that was probably what was going on. So I need to be like mindful of that going forward. Like, okay, how do I balance the use of like ibuprofen and like what's going on in my brain? Like, just to give like give the people around me a heads up, like how my body reacts to what I'm taking. So, yeah, lesson learned. I'll see you in the next Lighthouse Diary entry. And I guess like the lesson of today is like, if like similar to me, like you need to take certain medicine just to, you know, take care of certain symptoms, and make sure that you're praying as well for extra protection